Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook News. Today we're not talking about loud moments. There are no cheers, no spectacle, no over-the-top dramatization. Quite the opposite. What we're looking at are small fragments, quiet, subtle, and almost easy to miss. Moments that may last only a few seconds, yet are strong enough to make anyone pause and rethink. As BTS prepared to depart for Dubai, United Arab Emirates, we once again witnessed a pattern that has become increasingly difficult to ignore. A dynamic not built on grand gestures or flashy actions, but on the simplest things. The direction of their steps, the angle of their gaze, the distance carefully maintained so it never feels empty. And in the middle of all that, one thing remains consistent. Jimin and Jungkook are never truly apart. Not through obvious touches, not through statements, but through brief glances, adjusted steps, and a distance that always seems to be calculated. Two camera angles, one shared dynamic, and one simple question that keeps surfacing on its own. How long can Jungkook truly be away from Jimin? This time, we're not focusing on big moments that easily go viral, but on a series of small details that quietly leave anyone speechless. Not because they're dramatic or sensational, but because of a consistent intimacy, calm, steady, and almost never broken. As BTS was scheduled to depart for Dubai, we were given a more complete sequence of Jimin and Jungkook moments. Moments that show them not as two individuals who simply happen to be in the same place, but as 2 points constantly seeking and adjusting toward each other. Just before this departure, Jungkook released a song. A small detail, perhaps, but one that feels relevant, as if it added another emotional layer to that day. A day that already carried a quiet yet meaningful atmosphere from the very beginning. From this departure alone, we were given two different camera perspectives. Two viewpoints that, when combined, reveal the same story with striking clarity. From the first angle, the camera captures the car arrival area. We can see vehicles arriving one by one, who steps out of which car, and how each member begins to enter the public space. At first, Yoongi is seen stepping out of one of the cars parked toward the back, captured from a fairly distant angle. Not long after, Taeyoung and Yoongi appear again in the same area. Everything looks normal and calm. Nothing particularly stands out, until the moment Jimin steps out of the car. From this angle, it's clear that Jimin exits the same car as Yoongi, the one positioned in the back row. There's no big gesture, no exaggerated expression. And perhaps that's exactly why the moment feels so genuine. A few minutes later, Jimin and Yoongi begin walking to join the other BTS members. At that point, Hobi and Namjoon are already downstairs. Jimin walks lightly and casually, almost without a care. But right at that moment, something interesting happens. As Jimin passes by, Jungkook's car door opens. We can see it clearly. Jimin turns his head. His gaze isn't random. It's not just a reflex. The direction of his eyes is clear, toward the line of parked cars, as if he's searching for one specific point, as if a silent question appears on its own. Where is Jungkook? And sure enough, just as Jimin looks in that direction, Jungkook steps out of his car. Jimin's gaze lingers for a few seconds, briefly, but long enough to show that his focus is exactly there. Then, quickly, he looks away as if he realizes it, as if he doesn't want it to be too obvious. Within those same seconds, Jungkook fully steps out of the car. Jin turns to look at him. Everything happens quickly, almost simultaneously. But from a clearer angle, the moment is real and undeniable. The moment Jungkook stands up, the first thing he does isn't fixing his clothes or adjusting his steps. He searches. His eyes scan the area in front of him, left and right, until they finally stop at one point. Jimin. Even though the distance between them is quite far, one thing is clear: they find each other. Not with hands, not with words, but with their eyes. From the second camera angle, farther away and less clear in HD, the same pattern appears again. Jimin is already walking ahead, but Jungkook never truly loses him from sight. In fact, he begins to speed up his steps. If we look closely, Jimin walks in the middle lane, and Jungkook deliberately shifts himself into that same lane. He moves toward the center, toward Jimin. Not by accident. Not without intention. At this point, Jungkook appears genuinely distracted. His focus is no longer scattered around him. It narrows onto one person. However, along that path, he crosses paths with Hobie. A small moment that prevents Jungkook from approaching Jimin immediately, even though it's clear his full attention is drawn there. On the other side, Jimin is actually paying attention to Jungkook as well. But someone calls his name, causing him to turn briefly, and notice who then steps slightly forward, as if trying to gain a clearer view toward the back. At that moment, Jimin is walking beside Jin, not beside Jungkook. But if we look slightly behind, one thing remains consistent. Jungkook is always on the same side as Jimin. The camera happens to be on that side. Jungkook moves closer to the camera, but the direction of his eyes never changes. His gaze always returns to Jimin. Within seconds, Jungkook even breaks into a small jog. Not because he's rushed, not because he's in a hurry, but because he doesn't want that distance to widen. At the turn, Jimin is clearly seen ahead, and Jungkook catches up. Not just to match his pace, but to stay close. It feels like a very subtle strategy. Jungkook moves toward the camera, then uses that moment to change positions and follow Jimin again from a closer distance. After that, they enter the next area, heading toward document and passport checks. And this is where the pattern becomes unmistakably clear once again. Jimin and Jungkook stand side by side in the queue. The distance between them is almost non-existent. Jimin fixes his hair. Jungkook does the same, almost like a reflection. Jungkook stands slightly to the side and slightly behind Jimin, a position we've seen repeatedly. A protective position, letting Jimin be one step ahead while he stays behind, watching. They adjust their steps, adjust their positions, adjust their rhythm. Jungkook is truly attached to Jimin's side. There are moments when they glance at each other, moments when Jungkook lets Jimin walk first, and moments when Jungkook is ahead while Jimin lags behind with Jin. Yet even then, Jungkook keeps turning back, checking, measuring the distance, making sure that connection doesn't break. During the document process, Jungkook remains close to Jimin, to the point where all of these moments can be summed up in one simple yet honest title. How long can Jungkook be away from Jimin? Because the truth is, he can't. Maybe this is the heart of all these moments. Not in what they show the world, but in what, quietly, they never let go of. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us on Jikook News, because their story always speaks, even when there are no words.